over the phone by Dr. Fouad Razek, Professor of International Relations, joining us from London. Dr. Razek.
Hello?
Dr. Razek, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Dr. Razek, a very important summit took place earlier today with the participation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi amid tension that have triggered the global economic crisis. And at the end of the summit, we have seen statements from the participating leaders and from the EU officials agreeing on the importance of the unity and cooperation in order to find a path for a political and diplomatic solution for the crisis. Well, what's your take on this, Dr. Razek?
Yes, Egypt's participation underscores its central role as a key regional actor committed to dialogue, stability, and multilateral cooperation. It reflects Cairo's proactive diplomacy in bridging Arab and European perspectives on shared challenges. The participation by President Sisi, of course, conveys a very strong message because this kind of participation at this highest level signals Egypt's commitment to regional stability, its support for collective solutions, and its readiness to engage constructively on security, migration, and energy challenges. This is really very important as Egypt attaches importance to such regional meetings because it doesn't only cover political walks of life, but it covers all other aspects, especially in the fields I mentioned before, as environment, as economy, and tourism, and such things. And because Cyprus actually is a good link with Europe. So this is the importance attached to such meetings.
Dr. Razek, also at the press conference following the summit, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and President of Cyprus, Nikos Christodoulidis, thanked Egypt for its very important role in mediation talks and as a strategic partner. How do you evaluate here the role that Egypt is playing as a mediator and as a strategic partner for the European states?
As a matter of fact, Egypt advocates a comprehensive approach that links security with economic growth, emphasizing that sustainable development is essential to long-term stability and countering extremism in the meantime. Egypt also calls for shared responsibility, deeper cooperation, and investment in development as a means to address most causes of instability, including migration and economic display. On the agenda, of course, there are so many items, of course, being discussed, like the energy security, especially nowadays. Such crisis occupies a very high level of importance now, as we see nowadays from Hormuz and the siege there. It's affecting the economy of all countries, especially Europe. Europe is trying to drive a middle course, and trying to solve this problem because it affects its people everywhere, actually. People are now crying because of the prices of oil, prices of petrol, prices of food stuff, and everything. And this is why it has become a common cause, and such meetings actually need to address this one. As I said, energy security has become a top priority, especially in the light of global supply disruptions and Europe's search for diversified energy sources. This is the importance of Egypt linking its role to the regional hub, especially in the Eastern Mediterranean.
Indeed. Dr. Abdelrazek, how does Egypt's participation actually in this informal EU summit solidify the strategic partnership with the EU bloc?
Yeah, Egypt plays a crucial role as a hub for gas production, in particular liquefaction and export linking Eastern Mediterranean resources to European markets. Through joint investments, infrastructure development, and technology transfer, particularly in LNG, solar and green hydrogen projects. This actually represents a platform to deepen strategic energy cooperation and secure long-term supply agreements between Egypt and the countries represented in such high-level meetings. And of course, Egypt will make use of its presence to hold agreements and reach, certain level of cooperation, because there are so many challenges to such a thing, especially the security challenges facing the region, because the ongoing conflict, terrorism, irregular migration, and geopolitical tensions remain key challenges affecting both Arab and European security.
Indeed. Doctor, how does Egypt's participation actually also is showing its pivotal partnership in addressing regional challenges, signaling a shift from tactical cooperation to long-term strategic alignments?
Egypt plays a leading role in mediation efforts, conflict resolutions, and maintaining balanced relations with various regional actors.
Yeah.
This is very important, and by strengthening intelligence sharing, joint initiatives, and diplomatic coordination to manage crises and prevent escalation.
Yes.
I mentioned the Arab countries and European countries, and there is a need now for a shared vision with the Arab world and with Europe for this kind of very important de-escalation process. And it's expected to reinforce a common understanding and promote coordinated approaches to reduce symptoms.
Yes. Sir, also Egypt's presence in the summit is reflecting its indispensable weight in maintaining security, particularly concerning the maritime security and the counter-terrorism issue, as well as, of course, fighting and controlling the illegal immigration, which Egypt did play a great role in this regard with our European partners. What's your take on this?
Yes, of course, there is strong potential to expand cooperation across energy, trade, security, and climate-related initiatives, in addition to fighting terrorism. And by aligning economic and security priorities, investing in development, and promoting inclusive partnership, that would lead to something concrete and something concrete actually to achieve its aim. Of course, there are so many priority areas for cooperation in the coming stage, like energy, migration, management, as I said now, counter-terrorism, digital transformation as well, very important, and sustainable development.
Yes. Sir, how is Egypt, from your point of view, is containing the repercussion of the regional crises?
Egypt is involved wholeheartedly in any crisis as a mediator, and this was very clear during, as I said before, during the Sharm el-Sheikh summit, and it led to a successful outcome in Gaza Strip. Now, even before the meetings that happened in Islamabad, Egypt played a crucial role. I don't know why, it is usually not given a fair share, actually, of appreciation and credit because it helped a lot actually in mitigating the situation between U.S. and Iran, because it has its influence and it maybe certainly channels that would lead it. I think Egypt now is going back to play this role, though actually, as I said, the credit is not that much. It should be actually credited more than this, because when people mention Turkey, for example, and other countries, but Egypt's role was more important even than what Turkey did, and it might come to this role again, though the situation is very bleak actually, and it is not promising that much. But at the end of the day, they go into the negotiation table with the help of countries, even Russia and China, with the help of Egypt, they reach a solution through the negotiation table.
Indeed, Dr. Fouad Razek, our international relations expert, thank you so much for your very precious input. It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. And of course, a very important summit took place with the participation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the informal European summit in Nicosia, Cyprus, amid tensions that have triggered the global economic crisis. The President's participation comes in frame of the continuous consultations with the countries in the region and the European Union on the current developments in the Middle East, as well as the international and regional issues. The participation of President Sisi, of course, was hailed by the President of Cyprus, Nikos Christodoulidis, who held separate talks with President Sisi during his attendance to the summit. Also, the President of Cyprus hailed and valued the Egyptian mediation effort and hailed the Egyptian role in trying to find a solution to the crisis in the region. The summit holds great importance for Egypt and its cooperation with Europe, particularly regarding economic support and containing the regional crises. The summit also was attended by heads of states and governments from several Middle Eastern countries and large number of leaders from the European Union countries, noting on the importance in light of the rapid developments in the region. The meeting highlights Cyprus' role as a bridge between the European Union and the Middle East, with the discussions aimed at fostering regional stability. Cyprus is hosting the informal summit of the European Union leaders, coinciding with its presidency of the Council of the European Union in the first half of the year 2026. Meanwhile, the Cypriot presidency said that President Sisi participation in the European Union summit in Nicosia, providing the summit with significant political momentum and a message of regional unity. The Cypriot presidency added that Egypt remains a pivotal partner in confronting regional challenges, noting that its participation in Nicosia summit confirms a growing cooperation and coordination with Europe. Also, the presidency statement further emphasized Egypt's active role in advancing the regional dialogue and enhancing stability, stressing that the summit serves as a vital opportunity to align positions with Cairo. The presidency also noted that Egypt and Cyprus are leading the cooperation process in the Eastern Mediterranean, and that President Sisi's participation reflects Egypt's central importance in the regional security equation. Also, the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, emphasized on Egypt's important participation and thanked the Egyptian role in trying to diffuse the tense situation in the region and in playing a very important diplomacy in trying to mediate in order to end the crisis. Also, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, talked about the importance of the strategic partnership binding Egypt and Jordan with the European Union. Well, with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of our special coverage for this hour for the informal EU summit, which took place in the capital of Cyprus, Nicosia, with the participation of President Abdel Fattah.